Hello everyone, welcome back to my podcast. As you all know, this is Sam Speaks to the Most Beautiful Men in the World. We're here with my guest today, Mitchell Jones. Mitchell, a lot of my fans have asked me, how do you obtain this physique? How do you keep looking the way you do?
A lot of meditation.
Nice.
I just don't stop meditating.
Well, that's my problem. I don't meditate, so about 10 years old.
Yeah, but you look better than me, so how's that possible?
I don't know.
I think meditation's a hoax.
Maybe meditation is a hoax. Mindlessness is not what it's all meant to be. It's all cracked up to be.
Great. I did feel that people sound better when they're a little bit away.
Further away.
Yeah, it was weird. I always talk like this, but then when I was listening, it almost sounded like it was being smothered or something.
Okay. Yeah, because Joe Rogan's always like, literally swallow the mic, man.
Yeah.
Like, put it down.
But his is different, because this is like a condenser, which it gets like around, and a dynamic is like right in my face, so yeah. Yeah, sleaze bag for you.
Yes, man. I wish we had a little more space in here. We could just play hack sack.
I know, just run around and mess around, but what's this?
So just to let everyone know, my least favorite type of beer is a stout. I don't like stouts. They're really thick and nasty to me. But
Style, Beanhead Milk Stout.
yeah, so I've never had this before, and I don't even recommend it to my viewers. I do recommend Sussex Ale Works. The only way I can drink a stout is if it's really, really cold, which that one isn't. So we're gonna not have fun, but let's do it.
Great. Crack her open.
All right.
You want me to crack her
Yeah,
open?
you go ahead.
All right. Sure. We'll pour you a glass.
And since we're like talking about like drinks and stuff, and since we're pouring a drink, I did have a question. So like you got me this cup of water.
Yeah.
Thank you, by the way. Cheers. Has anyone ever like downed the water in like the first like 10 minutes, and like the whole podcast you're just like, damn, like I should really refill there?
No, that's
I might do that too.
No, that doesn't happen. But no, I'll fill you back up. I'll top you with mine. But I did have somebody just like every time I stopped talking, they'd take a little sip and like swish it, so they're like, and then they'd go back at it.
Some good ASMR for the camera.
This is dark.
Microphone. Yeah, it's dark.
It's very dark.
But one thing that's kind of cool that I've gathered, so if you like look at dark beer, you're always like, oh man, that's like a thick, like deep beer.
Yeah.
That would probably be like hard to go down. But what I find is, and I'm sure all you beer connoisseurs already know this, but I'm just not as much of a connoisseur. I find that dark beers actually go down easier. So they're like smoother and you can swallow them a lot easier. And I find the lighter beers are the ones that kind of tickle your throat on the way down.
What flavor is this?
Beanhead milk flavor.
I guess I just read it, but
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a brewmaster.
I didn't expect like coffee taste.
Rick Lockhart though, shout out to him. He's a great guy. Great fella.
Who's that?
He's the one that brews the beer for Sussex Ale Works. You should get him on.
Is he the brewer, like a
He's
master
the
brewer?
brewmaster, yeah, him and Simone. I forget Simone's last name. Sorry, Simone, if you're watching this. She's also really cool.
I do want to have one of them on. I know they follow me on Instagram, like Sussex Ale, but
Yeah, that'd be.
I do want to have them on because I don't know what goes into brewery.
It's a chemist's sport, I guess. I think I don't know. That's something that I actually wanted to get into. So,
Really?
Yeah, so it's something that's definitely not off the table. But I do really like beer, and I have some ideas for like businesses in the future. And one thing that just pairs great with everything is beer.
Yeah.
So
yeah, you can't go wrong with anything with it. Like
no. I mean, like it just it mixes with a lot of great, especially all the stuff I love to do, like outdoor sports. It's just it goes hand in hand. So being able to not only just like having it on hand to sell, but being a brewmaster and doing like limited quantities and stuff. Like I have friends like. Jake Freeze, so Sam Freeze's older brother, he brews his own beer, which is really cool.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, like sometimes I'd go over and they do Sussex ice cream as well, so they got a lot of like fridges and freezers and stuff. And you open the wrong one and you see like this like big dirty jug with like a percolator on the top, and you're like, what is that? What do I walk into? And they're like, no, that's beer that's like fermenting. And you're like, wow, cool.
Great. So you need to go to school for that? Do you?
I don't think Jake did.
I guess it might have to do with connections too, though.
Yeah, well, there's definitely like a specific process. When you're like dealing with like giant containers, like there's like cleaning and solution and just mixing and stuff. Yeah, there's definitely some
probably
some
a lot of things to deal with alcohol as well. Like just that whole situation. There's probably so many things you gotta go through.
Probably easily kill someone with
absolutely.
alcohol. So you gotta be careful. Yeah, like I did a if anyone, I don't know if it's on YouTube or not, but this year, last year at school, I was in a class called Prohibition and Rum Running 101 or something like that. Anyway, really awesome class. And we just learned all these stories about the Prohibition. Prohibition's really cool.
What is it? I don't know.
The Prohibition. Yeah. So basically, this is a blanket statement, but before 1920, I'd say, everybody was drunk all the time. So you would go to work, and a part of your like pay or a part of your like work, like stuff they would give you. Mm-hmm. So you worked at like a factory, they give you like 2 shots of rum a day.
Wow.
Yeah, and you'd be like loaded, you'd be like working on a house up like 10 feet, and you'd have like drink. It was like a type of like pain sort of
it was a
medication,
currency in a sense. Oh.
No, it wasn't really a current. Like you wouldn't be like paid in booze. Well, I'm sure some people wanted that, but it was just like a normal part of life. Like people just drank a lot.
No.
Because like
it was like a cigarette in a sense, just
sort of
smoke away while you work.
And people didn't know like its effects, and it was like a very like relaxing kind of thing. Because I feel like medicine isn't in a place that it was today. So like if you had like arthritis or something, like they're not going to give you like whatever. Like you're just like here's like whiskey. Like there's the cure for you just
you don't feel it now, do you?
Yeah, exactly. So people were drunk all the time, and that had a really big cost to society. There was mainly towards women and children, which shout out, it's International Women's Day, by the way, the day that we're recording.
Yeah,
so, yeah,
it is
pretty
cool. I wish my mom happy National Women's Day. I said congratulations. Good job. I don't know.
I could always do more. I don't even know if I said much, but anyway, shout out to all the women in my life and outside of my life. You guys.
Yeah.
But really, kind of what happened was, and everything that I'm saying is I'm kind of paraphrasing, just trying to kind of remember from last year. But essentially, right at the sort of turn of the century, the end of the 1800s, it had a very large social cost. So a lot of these women movements, it was also a similar time that women began to kind of vote, or rally to be able to vote. Yeah. So another movement that was growing along with that one was the Prohibition movement, which was basically restricting the sale of alcohol to everyone because, if your husband got home from work and he was just plastered all the time, like it creates a very harsh environment for your family. Obviously, and people, weren't getting much done, and it was just a problem. And I'm sure there's lots of other reasons, but it was mainly broadcasted or kind of funded and spread by religious groups, primarily Christian, evangelistic Christian groups, because that's what the prominent religion is in
the world,
in the Western world. So it basically just sparked and it grew. And it was I'm quite sure it was accelerated by the First World War, where there was like rations for stuff, and so they basically decided that they restricted the sale of alcohol on home borders. But the crazy thing is they shot themselves in the foot. So what they did was they instead of just banning the manufacturing of alcohol, which would have essentially solved the problem. There's always going to be, and whenever you ban something, it just opens up a plethora of wrongdoings. Yep. First of all, there's like you're just fueling an illegal market.
Do you remember what year they made it
illegal? Different for every country, every province, everything.
Really?
Yeah. There was. I'm pretty sure there was like a blanket one at a certain year, but every province and every state in the states like kind of just had their different ones. Like, pretty sure PEI was dry until like 1950, which is insane.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I don't know. That might be wrong, but there was some provinces and states that like kept it like for a really long time, because really it all started to end like around like the end of the 1920s ish is when it kind of phased out. But basically, what they did was they shot themselves in the foot. So they didn't ban the manufacturing of alcohol. They only banned the sale. So what did people do? So it was available to export. So they could export it. That was the whole point. So what did people do? Well, they manufactured alcohol and they left. They put it on a boat. And they'd go out to sea, and then they turn right back around, and then they would illegally sell it right back. And there was like this place called Rum Row. It was actually very profitable for a lot of sailors, especially on the East Coast, like where we live, New Brunswick and all that, Nova Scotia, PEI. Basically, there were these 2 islands just outside of like literally like a stone's throw from the coast of Newfoundland that were controlled by France. So they were essentially French part of the French Empire or whatever. Anyway, so they could literally export it to that little island, and then it was signed in, and then it was legal, and then it would just go right back.
Yeah.
So, and then like I think I was alluding earlier, there's a place called Rum Row, which is about, you know, just outside of the ability for like you know, American naval ships to be able to kind of, you know, board you or you know, take you back. Yeah, so all this alcohol would come from, you know, Canada, and then it would just go to Rum Row, which was just like, you know, out from the coast of like New York or whatever, and then they just bring it all back in. Anyway, what brought us here was that Nick Moeller and I, for that class, made a video of this guy called what's his name, Rocco something, I forget his last name. Anyway, he was like a notorious Canadian gangster. He's like the Canadian Al Capone.
Really?
Yeah, and basically, oh yeah, I remember how we got here. So I was talking about you can kill someone with alcohol.
Yeah.
So what happened was a lot of people were obviously manufacturing alcohol legally, mostly under the name moonshine. That's like super strong alcohol, right? Mm-hmm. So his gang essentially made this batch of alcohol, and it was like 97% pure like wood out. Like it was like an alcohol that you'd like put on wood to treat it or whatever. I don't know. And anyway, it killed multiple people because it was unregulated, right? Mm-hmm. And so, anyway, that's kind of what
they
a
had
video
no testing back then. They didn't know.
I'm sure they had yeah, it's just like you're not.
Well, how would
if
you
you're
test
like a
it?
hillbilly,
Human
and like
tester, maybe?
it was in Ontario. So if you're like, I shouldn't say hillbilly. I don't know if that's like derogatory. If you're like a country man or woman, and you're in like the outskirts of, you know, wherever, and someone says, hey, you can't get alcohol anywhere else. Drink this. You're like, sick. Sounds good. And then you're dead because it's like toxic.
What is the top percentage you can go without it being too crazy?
I'm not a doctor. I usually see like
40,
50. I've seen high 40s. I've also I've heard of like alcohols from outside of Canada or wherever else that like are higher.
Do you know what moonshine sits at? Moonshine.
I think it just
sits at.
I think it just depends on who made it. Right?
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't know.
What do you add? What do you?
Yeah, that's that, and that's a good. So anyway, what happened was essentially they drew into law because I mean it's kind of funny. I could go a lot of different ways with this. Whenever you ban something, especially if you get convicted of doing whatever's banned, if it's a fine, if the penalty is a fine, the law only exists for people who are, you know, low income or disadvantaged, people who don't have a lot of money.
Yeah.
People who have a lot of money don't care because they can just pay the, you know, whatever. And
it works against the poor and the middle class.
So what was happening was there was like rampant, you know, illegal activities, rampant gangs and all this stuff, all this rum running and stuff over the border, and it was just crazy.
Imagine being part of one of those crew, the rum runners.
Oh, craziness. Yeah, super dangerous. Well, rum running was literally the reason why NASCAR was invented. I'm sure a lot of people know about that. It's like,
I didn't know about that.
So people were, they would take their cars and they would be out trying to outrun the police, right? And so they would tune their cars up. And then once the prohibition ended, they had all these cars that were tuned up, and then they were like, why don't we just race them? Let's race them. So they started these dirt tracks, and anyway, that's where NASCAR started.
That's
It
crazy.
essentially started with rum running. Yeah, one of like I wish I could remember names better, but one of the most iconic early NASCAR drivers was a rum runner. His grandfather was a rum runner, and he grew up around cars, you know, doing runs and stuff, and going fast in cars. And he was one of the earliest kind of legends in NASCAR.
That's wild.
Again, I wish I could remember his name.
Yeah. Well, you'd grow up with working with all the cars and then tuning them up all the time.
Yeah.
And then you just fall in love with the cars.
Exactly.
That'd be wild.
Yeah. So anyway, so back to what I was saying, like, so what was happening was there was all that rampant, like, violence and all this gang stuff that was horrible for everyone. So it was giving a greater cost to society, really, all this illegal activity than, you know, banning the alcohol in the first place. I think I'm getting too close to this mic. I should back up a little.
It's okay. Just relax. Just take it easy.
But
we're okay.
The people who were, you know, going, like the politicians that were going in front of everyone and saying, you know, alcohol is bad, we don't do it. They were going home and, you know, had their little secret stash, and they would have their drinks because that's, you know, and it wasn't, you know. So yeah, basically what happened was they came to an agreement. They did all these like votes throughout legislature, like in all these different places, and basically they found that the best way to do it was just a total monopoly for the government to control all sales. And another big thing is that alcohol sales and any sort of drug sales, anything that's regulated and sold by the government, creates a lot of income for the government.
Yeah, it does.
So they were losing like millions and millions of dollars each year from not selling alcohol. You know, so and then they gained millions and millions of dollars each year. Yeah, same thing from like VLTs. VLTs are so crooked.
What are VLTs?
Video lottery terminals. They're like the stuff that you go into like a dive bar, and there's somebody in the corner with like a dart that's like unlit hanging out of their mouth, and they're just like fixated on the screen with these like cherries spinning.
Oh yeah,
That's
a slot
VLT.
machine. Oh,
exactly. It's not a slot machine though, because a slot machine has like a pull thing, and it's got all the stuff.
Well, the old ones had the pull thing. So now they're just a button.
Yeah, video lottery terminal is like one that's just like it's a video, and it's just anything, and it controls it all, and there's a certain. Excuse me. Anyway, it creates a lot of income for.
Was it like a guaranteed loss with the VLT?
It's just like it's all chance, and it's always the machines are always geared for you to lose.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But like, they kind of changed it a little bit, I think. They probably changed it to more winning.
Just don't do it.
Just don't get into it.
Don't play them.
It's wild.
I'd rather, you know what? I shouldn't say this. Not all gambling's bad. No, but some gambling, like you get your money. Well, I guess you're kind of getting your money worth because it's a rush, right? But to me, like if I went to like a casino and there's like this nice felt table and you got your little arm pads, you got your little drink, and you're playing poker, like that's awesome. Like that's what I would want to do, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind spending like $100 maybe, I don't know, $100 down. If you lose it, you're like, oh, at least I had experience. I played poker. Poker's really fun. But just jamming money into a machine and I didn't get the cherries. Like, what is that? Like you're just throwing money at the wind.
Yeah.
And I don't know. And it's clearly very addicting, which is like,
that's the biggest problem.
Yeah.
People go probably with the same mindset of I'll just do this once or twice.
Yeah.
And then they realize that they just gravitate towards it.
Yeah.
Addiction's scary. Addiction is scary when it comes to anything.
Whenever I think of the VLT, I think of Ricky's dad. He's like, "It's the way she goes. It's the way she goes." You know, it didn't go today, and. Have you watched Trailer Park Boys?
Yeah, I have, but I've never heard him saying that quote.
Yeah, well, there's like a part where they're like in a bar and they're like out for the night, and then they give what's his name? I forget his name.
The guy in the bar.
Ricky's dad, yeah, the man in the chair. What's his name?
No
Anyway,
idea.
they give him all his money to go buy drinks, and he goes and blows it all in the VLT, and they're like, "What?" They're like, "That's our drink money, like it's gone." He's like, "That's the way she goes. That's the way she
goes."
Yeah. One of my favorite quotes from him was. If God will take care of the sparrows, he'll take care of me. That's one of the best quotes.
That's
yeah.
funny.
And then Ricky goes, "Man, sparrows are fucking stupid." He's like, "That's exactly my point."
That's hilarious. I did end up watching that movie, Secondhand Lion.
Oh, you watched it?
It's so good.
So good, eh?
So good.
I watched that when I was like 9 or 10. And I just remember it being like the best movie, and then I rewatched it like a year or two ago. Oh man, so good.
It blew me away. When you explained it, it sounded like an amazing movie, so I had to watch it.
It's one of those movies that, and this is hard to explain, but you know those movies that just kind of like stick with you. Like you'll just like be like in an everyday sort of like situation, and you'll just be like, oh yeah, it kind of like teaches you stuff. Like you're just like, oh yeah, that's like that movie. And
yeah.
Anyway, it's a good movie. If you guys don't know, it's about two old guys that are like hermits, and they have a lot of money, and because they've been all over the world and all this stuff.
Yeah, they have these crazy stories.
Yeah, and basically there's this mom who's kind of a deadbeat mom, and she's like has her son, and she's going somewhere to make it big or whatever, and so she's like, I'm taking you to your grandparents for the summer, or your grandfathers, and they're these, like I said, these kind of, they live in like the middle of nowhere and have no power, and they just sit on the porch all day and and anyway, so he comes and he's just like, damn it, like this is gonna suck, like this is horrible. And then he becomes friends with the grandfathers, and they end up being like the coolest guys ever. Like I said, they literally have like a buried treasure on their land of like millions and millions of dollars. But they've done like that, like they've been to like Persia, and they've like fought pirates, and anyway, so you kind of just slowly hear all these stories, and then it actually happens in the movie. You see it, and anyway, it's just a really cute movie.
It stuck with you though. What stuck with you?
That's not.
Do you mean like in a inspirational way? Or?
Kinda, I guess. I don't know. I shouldn't get into that. It's just like one of those.
I do know kid movies have like inspired me in a way, like WALL-E, for an example.
Yeah, I love WALL-E.
WALL-E's so good.
It's such a good movie.
I guess like in that sense, but yeah, I don't know if Secondhand Land, I don't know if it inspired me in that sense.
Yeah, I don't.
It was a good
I think
feeling.
I just saw it when I was little, and I just was like,
You
"It's a
didn't
great
mention a lot.
movie," and it just like, yeah. What's your favorite movie?
Favorite movie?
Yeah, it's hard. It's like that's
That's
an
a very
impossible
tough question.
What's your favorite movie like right now? Like, what's one you really like?
I don't know about it right now, but a go-to good movie, like one of my favorites, like top 3 for sure, is Patch Adams.
I don't know. Is that the one with Robin Williams?
Yeah, he's a doctor.
Yeah, oh yeah, I've never seen it.
It's based on a true story.
Okay.
I just watched Green Book. Have you watched it?
Is that the one with the he's like a white driver with like a
and a black pianist.
Yeah. So I know these movies.
Yeah.
We're playing footsies.
We're getting a little closer.
But I'm the type of person that's like this is horrible. It's really weird. But you're like, you tell me to watch a movie and I won't. I gotta find my own movies. No, not actually. But like it's actually worse for music. If someone sends me music, I'll be like, whatever.
Really?
No, I won't. I shouldn't have to. Not actually like that.
I do that with music. No, some people send me songs and then I just like forget to click on it.
Yeah, and it's just like I feel like everyone's kind of like that. But yeah. One thing with music is like and I'm sure everyone can relate. First of all, how awesome it is living in the 21st century. And I want to listen to a song, I go, and then
it's amazing. It's amazing. Does it depreciate music?
100%. Music's like worthless to me.
Yeah.
But I'm the kind of guy like I have more CDs than you'd ever know.
Yeah, and you can't go without it. Yeah. But it's like it's not the same as it used to probably be when it like.
Well, my main thing was like I wanted CDs because first of all I like tangible. I'm a big stuff guy. I'm like a hoarder. I love stuff.
Oh really?
Yeah, I have too much stuff. I love it though. It's bad. I'm very materialistic. I'm not like materialistic in the sense that I don't like think materialistically, but I love material things.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like I'm definitely more of like a human to human kind of like I've like any of my stuff I'd throw away for like who cares? Like I'm not like that attached.
Yeah.
But I just love.
Yeah, but you appreciate certain pieces of things that you get.
No, yeah.
In that sense, right?
Yeah.
Like.
Yeah. Hey, what was I
yeah, where were we?
Oh, yeah, so some of my CDs. So the main reason why I got my CDs is because I essentially, you know, with the state of streaming and stuff, like, you have every song you want, but the second that you stop paying for that streaming service, it's gone. That stuff's gone, which is cool if you want to...
Wait.
Yeah, so you don't own any of your music. You're just paying for access to it, right?
Yeah. Sorry.
So the second...
My Spotify just ended.
Yeah.
But I didn't lose any of my music in that sense.
It won't delete it off.
Yeah, okay.
But well, Spotify's also free. Like there's free versions. So Spotify will always play your music. But imagine, so let me just finish my thought. The reason why I got CDs is so that when I have children, and when I get older and I have children, I'm gonna have a wall of music that I own, that I have in front of them, and I say, like, this is this CD, and this is this music, and this is why I like it, and blah, blah, blah. I have a lot of different genres that I like. Whenever I find, and I did this a lot more when I was like in high school, I would always go to, whenever I go to St. John, I'd pick up like 2 or 3 CDs, which was really expensive. I was really dumb. But now I got this whole,
too many
catalog of CDs. I do have too many.
Were you raised up in like music? Like, was that important?
No, like I guess like my parents were not musical at all, not at all. My mom, this was like one of the huge not a huge influence, but one of my favorite music memories growing up was so when we were really little, like 4 or 5, we used to go to Poley Mountain and learn how to ski, right? So my mom had, and I still own it. I still have it. It's like one of my prized possessions. Yeah, my mom had a CD, Green Day, American Idiot. You know that one?
Yeah.
I wanna be American Idiot. And there's like Highway, was it Billboard of Broken Dreams or whatever?
I don't know that.
I walk a lonely road.
Oh yes, yeah.
One that I ever know. Anyways, just a bunch of those songs, and they're all iconic. Anyway, we used to listen to that. It swore that album swears all the time. I didn't realize that. I was like, holy smokes, my mom was a baller.
Yeah.
Showing her little 5-year-old, but we went right over your head, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that
you didn't even know half
that was like my seed for music is Green Day.
And you don't realize that until you look back.
But I would say the biggest influence, and I'm really lucky for this. I would consider myself a pretty feminine person. Like I'm not like super feminine, flamboyant, but I feel as though I'm pretty in touch with my feminine side.
Yeah,
I guess.
I wouldn't say that. I would just say that maybe from somebody's outside perspective, that's what it looks like more.
Yeah, anyway.
You're just you.
Yeah.
Just appreciate who you are.
Yeah, so the reason for that is because my best friend growing up and the person I spent all my time with, and because we're so close in age and we grew up together, was my sister.
Really?
And my sister was very like kind of controlling in a way. Like she would really be like, Sam, like you got to do this, you got to do that.
Same with my
so
sister.
I was like, I had a ton. I still do. I love my sister. Ton of respect for her all the way up. I just always looked up to her. So anything she liked, I liked. So like we were like the biggest High School Musical fans ever. If you want to, like, I know every single word to every High School Musical movie. Like, and I love the movies. They're amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Vanessa Hudgens was my like kid crush.
Oh.
Yeah.
Vanessa, she's old now, so it'll just...
Yeah, kinda.
Kinda.
No, anyway, but yeah, so shout out to my mom, and my sister for
That's crazy.
That's why like growing up, we always listened to like whatever was on the radio, so like pop music and stuff. So that was always a big one. And then once we became of age to start downloading our own music, my sister downloaded all the music on our iPod because we shared an iTunes account. And this was like before like Wi-Fi was big, so like you would literally like do it on your computer on iTunes, or you would like go to a hotel and get Wi-Fi. And I was like, whoa, like time to download games. We're at a hotel. Oh. Did never burn. We were never like too technologically advanced. Like we would have never had like the ability, or we would have had the ability. I'm sure it's very simple to burn a CD. I've done it. I have done it. But
I was the same way.
But growing up, we never really knew how like a computer ran. And,
I was
like,
the same way.
Programs.
Like,
and
I had
stuff.
friends that were like, "Oh, I just burn it onto the CD," and I'm like, what?
Yeah, like our cousins, we used to get like a bootleg copy of like a movie or like a CD with like a mix, and that was cool.
Yeah.
But like we never do it ourselves. The most we do is we would go to like Mini Clip or like Ancon, like play with your little games. Or we used to, one of my favorites was we used to have this Tonka CD, DVD, video game thing, PC game. Oh, so fun. You'd like drive trucks around and like put out fires and oh man, it was my favorite.
So looking up to your sister, I didn't realize that was a big impact for you. How distant were you guys in age?
So she was born in January of 1998.
Oh, okay.
And I was born in October of 1999. So we're like a year apart on paper, but really we're almost like two years apart. Yeah.
Okay. I looked up to my brother a lot as he was getting older, and when he would hang out with like you guys and your kind of group of friends and stuff, and you guys were always biking and scootering. And one thing I was actually thankful for was a lot of times there's an issue with the younger brother sticking along. But for some reason,
Connor's so chill.
Yeah, Connor just didn't care.
You're also really chill though.
Thank you.
That's a big thing. It's like, are you cool to hang out with? Like,
yeah.
Not that we'd be get out of here, Mitchell. You're not cool to hang out with. But it's just like a.
But that would be the stigma of like a younger kid, and it's like, oh, you're kind of annoying.
Like, oh man.
But I really appreciate that Connor didn't like say, no, you can't come hang out with my friends. Like he kind of just embraced it and was like, yeah, come hang out. Who cares? And it pushed me to be better, like when it came to riding or I didn't hang with you guys too much, but when it did come to riding especially, it was like, oh, these guys are better than me, but it's showing me to try to do better.
Helps you progress, right? And everyone's got tips and
I really looked up to like you guys in a friend group as like, oh, these guys are all like kind of like hanging out, supporting each other at the same time. Yeah.
There's two ways I want to go with what you just said. Number one, so yeah, there's two ways I want to go with that. Number one, I wouldn't say my biggest. I wouldn't say it's a regret. I just wish that this materialized more in my life. So growing up, my sister and I were really close. My brother and I were never very close, and we still aren't. Because he's a 4-year gap behind me. But not only like age is but a number. Gaps like especially now don't matter. Like he's very close in age to me, especially now. The only thing is, so my siblings and I are very, very different. So outside of like growing up, we never really interacted like much outside of our house together. Like we never really did a whole lot of stuff together.
As a family or as like
no, as a family we did. Like we would go on like trips and we would go places and stuff and go to eat and whatever. But I guess we never really had a whole lot of family activities, which is true. But a big thing that we did was we had a cottage, so we would always go to the cottage. True. So we were always together there. But in terms of like like I was really into skateboarding, scootering, hockey. I guess my brother's really into hockey, so that's something that we bonded on. Snowboarding, like I'm the only one in my family. My sister does it more now. My brother a little bit. That really goes to the ski hill. Same thing with like playing guitar. Like I'm the only one in my family that will play like that really plays an instrument. Like there hasn't been a whole lot of times in our life where like I feel like you and Connor, you'd be like, oh, like we're bros and like we can do like all this stuff together and we're like very similar and stuff. I don't really have that. And it's all like, you know, there's obviously on the outside and there's different stuff like you and Connor probably aren't like best friends or anything, but you know some brothers are brothers are like inseparable.
Well, your good friend well, I guess mine as well, Jacob and Dan. Like,
exactly. Yeah,
from our perspective, they look
totally. So yeah, it's just something that I never really had. So that was one of the things I wanted to kind of say, which I'm kind of sad about, but it's just the way things roll. Hopefully that we become closer in the future. And we see each other
Matthew does watch, I know for sure.
Yeah, I love Matt. That's so cool.
He's so funny. He's hilarious.
He's always been hilarious.
He's always been wild. I don't know what it is. Just
he used to always like dance and like say funny weird stuff.
He can definitely take over a room if he wants to. Like he has that ability.
Anyway, I love that guy. Anyway, and the other thing I wanted to say was I was very, very lucky to grow up with the group that I grew up with. It's kind of funny because we were all like that kind of skate park crew, like at the skate park every day on our scooters, on our skateboards, on our mountain bikes, on our BMXs, whatever we were riding at that point. We did multiple evolutions of different stuff. The main thing is like, can we get to the skate park? That's a reason why we didn't really skateboard until later in our life, because you couldn't get to the skate park on a skateboard with our sidewalks and stuff.
No,
there's no way. So you started off with like a bike, and then then we went to like a regular, you know, dirt jumper or mountain bike. You go to dirt jumper, and then you go to BMX, and then we went to scooter, and then it was just a natural progression from there. But it was funny. So when we were in like grade 7, grade 8, we were like, that was like the peak. Everyone's out, everyone's having a great time, everyone's ripping. And then you kind of like see like there's no like older people at the park. Like I remember Brandon Carhart. He was the only one. He was a really good BMXer. He was quite a bit older than us.
I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't even know him, but he was. I remember him being like a really good BMXer. He was older than us. He was someone that we looked up to, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. But there wasn't really any. There was like some.
There's a few stragglers,
your druggies or whatever, kicking around, which I hate to call them that because I'm sure they're beautiful people. But you know.
Yeah, no, I totally agree.
And so we were like, does this end? Like, are we gonna like get into high school and it's just like not cool anymore? Like, is this just gonna stop? Like, that's what it seems to be. Mm-hmm. And we never stopped.
I know.
So yeah, like we hit grade 9, we're like, we're still going to the skate park.
If anything, you went harder. Yeah, really.
And grade 10, grade 11, grade 12, graduate, and we're still there all the time. Or you know, all of us have moved around and all that, but wherever there is one of us or at a skate park, or whatever city that we're at, like it's just they never stopped, which was really cool, and we were very close knit, and we all kind of switch ages, right? I mean, it goes from like Caleb and Jacob and Connor and them, 98 babies, and then Dan and I, 99, and then all the way to like Nathan and Dan and you and 2000. So. Yeah, I was just very lucky to have the friend group that I had, and we all stuck with it and didn't stray away. And it was just such an awesome way to spend your time.
I actually told Connor one time, since I was a grade younger than you guys and stuff, 2 grades younger.
Yeah, I think you're. Yeah. Is it 3 with Connor? 3 grade?
3 with Connor, yeah. But I didn't envy, but growing up and seeing that and being close to Connor. And just seeing all you guys hang out and do all those things. And it's not like you just rode too. Like you guys went on adventures. Like I told Connor all the time, I was like, man, I just wish I had a group of friends that did the same stuff. But I was just younger.
It's common.
No, it's not.
Yeah. Like we were a pretty big, and we still have we were called the Cowtown Crew. That's what we called ourselves. Yeah. we had a group chat in Facebook, and then it went to, now it's in Instagram, that's where we still have a group chat, and then we have it on Snapchat too. It's not as active on Snapchat, but anyway, people have come and go in the group, but the real core people have kind of stuck. Yeah. And it's.
I really always thought that you guys could make waves. Now it would be very difficult to try to make waves, but I thought you guys as a group, you're 7. I think it's a 7 solid group.
Yeah, I'd have to see the group chat.
I'm gonna ramble it off right now. Ready?
Yeah, do it. Let's hear it. Speed round.
Con, Dan, Jake, Tay, Sam, Caleb, Gare.
No idea who you just said. I think you got them all.
I think that's 7.
So the group chat. Sam Malone, Caleb Post, Connor Jones, Daniel Larson, Daniel McQuinn, Garrett Fanjoy, Jacob Lauer. There's 2 Jacob Lauersons in this group chat. One of them's not right. One of them's his old account.
One of them's a clone.
Nathan Tabor, Taylor Pearson, and then the second Jacob Lauerson.
I didn't think it was Nathan.
Nathan Tapes is in there.
Yeah.
I love Nathan. Talk about a hot guy. Like
A hot guy? Oh, spicy, honestly.
jeepers, like I just look at him and I just lick my lips right now. For all of them that are listening, that are watching audio, I just licked
Watching
both
audio.
my lips. Or listening to audio. I had to lick both my lips for Nathan Tabor. I hope he watches this.
Yeah. Oh, I'll send it to him to know that we were talking about him. Talking dirty about him.
We'll see.
Talking bad.
Talking bad. Yeah, that guy Nathan. He's
Back to my point. Back to my point. I really thought you guys as a group could make waves on YouTube very well if you just had a filmer.
Yeah, we all film for each other. We're very straggly. Like there'll only be like a few of us this day and a couple of us this day, and we all do different stuff. Like some of us scooter, some of us skateboard, some of us BMX, some of us ski. We're a big mixed bag. You'll on
But
YouTube
I thought that's
you will
what would,
find.
I thought that's what would
us.
work, because it's not necessarily you guys all have to do everything together. It's just like you guys would do everything together, but then throughout like video or something, you guys could do separate things. It's a weird combination to like try to work with. It would never happen now, I don't think, because
it's
life's
weird. Like
busy.
when we at our peak. Video quality was not that great. Like it was like 420, whatever.
Poor. It was really poor.
And like and this is just an excuse, but we would always just be riding, and like sometimes we get videos, like sometimes the clips and stuff, but very rarely did we actually go through the entire effort of like editing an entire thing. A lot of times I think it was just because we thought like that it wasn't really good enough. Like we were just like, you know what I mean? Yeah. But I don't know.
It's like, is this even worth it? Kind of.
Yeah, and they like, we were like, especially some of us were definitely good enough. Like people like, man, they're masters of craft. Like Dan's a master at scootering. Like Garrett's a master at BMXing. Like Jacob's a master at scootering. Connor is somehow a master at many things. He's really good at scootering, really good at, and Dan's amazing at skateboarding too. Connor's amazing at skateboarding. We're all very well rounded.
Yeah.
But all of us have our strong suit.
Yeah.
But
you guys are all athletically gifted too.
Pretty luckily. Yeah.
Just like
Caleb's a wizard at scootering.
Things came easy.
Shout out everyone. Yeah.
Nathan's just good looking.
Nathan's hot.
Yeah, he's super hot.
he's like our male model of the group, really. Yeah.
It's actually only just photos of Nathan.
I wish that was my any photo I ever saw. Right, we're getting a little hard on Nathan.
Just make an Instagram account called Nathan. Get it verified.
I'm trying to make a podcast called Talking to Hot Dudes.
That's why I made it.
That's what this is. This is my podcast. It's not his.
Oh.
Yeah.
You call me a hot dude?
You might think this is his studio. I made this. I did not make this. This place is sick.
You really like it?
Can we turn on the on-air sign?
I hope Sam Woodall's not listening, because I always turn it on, but this time I didn't. Sam,
we're lagging.
Sam Woodall.
Don't worry. I figured it out. We're gonna get it going.
Do you want me to turn it on?
I do. Yeah. Oh, that's amazing.
I always turn it on, and
that's great.
This is the first time I forgot. Sam Woodall.
Now that I'm looking up here, why absolute? Just like all-encompassing?
To be honest, do you want to know my real reason?
No. My reason was way better.
What did you say?
I said all-encompassing?
Oh. All-encompassing podcast. No, I really just chose absolute because I wanted to, like, A, B is the first letters in, like, the alphabet. So I figured if it was going to be, like, in alphabetical order, or if the first, like, suggested podcasts were going to come up, I just thought that maybe A and B would, in the algorithm, would pop up
that
first.
That is actually really smart.
But it turns out that there's actually quite a few absolute podcasts out there. But I just call it absolute. And it doesn't make any difference. I think there's one or two out there.
That's actually pretty smart. I
but
never thought of that.
I wish I found a better name, to be honest.
It
sounds okay. It's pretty slick.
I like the name.
It's pretty slick.
Just call it Butt Soup Podcast.
Butt Soup. Soup Podcast would actually sound sweet.
Soup Pod? It would.
What could you make it stand for?
Soup? No, you just gotta give everyone a bowl of soup. That's all.
Just start it with some broccoli cheddar?
Go say, see Sean Campbell. I'm sure he's got some soup for you. Shout out to that guy. He sells houses.
He does sell houses.
Like, actually gets them sold, from what I hear. Yeah. Like, it was all good if you, like, put your name on a sign in front of a house. Like, that's cool. Like, I'm selling
But I've seen the same sign for 6 years now.
Results?
Yeah.
Call that guy. Sean Campbell.
Man,
That's what I hear. I've never sold a house.
This is like the 4th time he's been mentioned in the podcast.
This one?
No, not this one. Like every podcast I've had, Sean's been.
Well, his name's just so central. He's a master at advertising and branding. Look at that. He put it right where my eyesight, like my eye line, goes right to it.
True. I actually wrote that.
Get out of my head, Sean.
I actually wrote that.
You. Did you write other people's names?
Yeah, well, the first 5 I forgot.
Jacob wrote his.
Jacob came by and wrote his. Everybody else, I just wrote theirs because I forgot to get them to sign it. I didn't think about the idea until a couple days ago. So you're actually the first official person to write it.
I feel so honored to be on here too, by the way. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you so much. This studio is awesome.
I'm glad I got the deer antlers above your head.
Oh, jeez.
Nobody can see it on the camera, but...
That's great.
Where can we go with this?
The moon.
Did you do anything with the stickers I got you?
Oh, yeah. I messed them up. I have this...
You messed them up?
Yeah, I have this water bottle. Can you make me more?
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, do it.
Definitely.
Yeah, I'll pay you even. Pretty cool. Did you make it? Did you make it?
Well, where I used to work, they had a sticker machine. They could print off anything.
Don't tell Burton. You make me Burton stickers in a second. Anyway, I have this water bottle that it has really bad paint on it, like really cheap paint, I guess. So I stuck it to the water bottle.
They're big stickers.
Yeah, and then I I'm pretty illiterate with stickers. It's a weird way of saying that, but I've stuck a lot of stickers. I have a huge sticker collection, big sticker guy. I'm actually not as into stickers as I used to be, but now I have a stockpile of stickers.
To be honest, I think it was a high school thing.
Kinda. I still like stickering stuff. I'm just not as into stickering stuff as much as I used to be. I'm more of like the aesthetic of it. So like some stickers, but not like I hate a sticker mash, which I used to like when I was younger. I used to love.
Is that too much of a sticker mash on my laptop?
No, everything. Like there's no really like overlaps.
No, I didn't.
Excuse me, which is awesome.
I made it organized.
Anyway, a lot of people don't know this. Well, that's dumb to say. People probably know this,
and they're gonna know it.
But
Sam, the camera's not really on me. Below your feet, there's like a little green tape by your feet. If you make sure it's like on. Oh. It's all good. It just didn't look like it was pointing at me.
I didn't know that.
It's okay.
Sorry.
I'm still on the camera, probably.
Anyway, when you stick a sticker, you have like multiple sticks. Like you don't have to just go with the first. If you've wiped down the surface enough, which you always should, it shouldn't be wet, but you should wipe down the surface with like a microfiber or something, and you have multiple sticks. You can stick it down once. You say, I don't like that orientation. You pull it off. You stick it on again. You probably can do that like 3 or 4 times.
But if you're good, Sam, you're sticking it once.
I'm not good at it though, because I'm always pulling mine off and reorient it. Anyway, so this one I went to do that. I stuck it down. And I was like, it's a little sideways, so I went to pull it back up. Anyway, I pull it up, and the paint is coming off with it, so the sticker's basically useless now. And so a little piece of mine is hung off, but it's all good.
Well, if you send me it, I can try and get you another one.
I'd love it. Burton stickers, they don't give you stickers, right? You have to send them a letter, a handwritten letter, and then they'll send you stickers.
You can get the Ride on Jake one.
They'll probably send you that one. And
but what do you mean they can't send you stickers? Like certain ones? Or
I don't know if this is still the case, but when I was younger, I wanted Burton stickers. I used to actually like message companies and be like, yo, you got stickers. Like I did it to Nike. I think that was the only one I did it to. Remember, notice I always said always? I didn't always do that.
Oh.
Anyway, I did it to Nike.
We got a liar on the podcast.
I'm a big liar, I lie all the time. Not on purpose.
Yeah, do you mind if I take a little extra?
The wrong stuff.
A little extra bean?
Oh, I just dripped on you.
That's okay.
Beautiful table.
Gives it extra stain. It's got a bean stain to it. Thank you. This is very good. That's a very...
Yeah, it's not bad. Look it off the can. Anyway, so back when I was younger, when I tried to get Burton stickers, they literally said, we will not send you stickers unless you send us a handwritten letter. Which I never did.
Handwritten?
Yeah, you gotta send say a story or something or anything. Or like art. Like they want you to send artwork or something. Anyway.
That's weird.
It's kinda cool.
That is cool.
I think if I was
cool.
a business I would do that too. But anyway, so I never did it. So I finally got Burton stickers from the Mitchell man himself for Christmas. So
yes, custom made, hand delivered.
Yeah.
Perfect timing too.
Exactly. Yeah. It was awesome.
What else are you into besides music? I guess we didn't really touch into snowboarding at all.
No, I'm a big snowboarder. I love playing.
That's my favorite sport.
I love to surf the land, as they say.
Surf the land. Would you ever try sandboarding? I was
talking about sandboarding today. Yes, it looks like it kind of sucks. Honestly, it looks like it's hard, and then that snow is definitely a better thing to
ride
on.
I don't think it's like an amazing feeling.
It would be like you'd essentially be riding powder, but there's no fluff. So when you ride,
it's just
there's different there's different like riding styles. If there's like powder versus like hard pack. Hard pack, you're using your edges. So like your edge like digs into that hard stuff. You lay track. There's like a hole where it used to be. And you go edge to edge and you do a full carve. On powder, if you try to use your edge, you're going to sink through all that snow. So you basically use your board as like a boat, and that's why powder boards are nice and wide and usually actually a little bit shorter, and they usually have like a lack of a tail a little bit so that you can stay in your back seat easier and keep your tip up. My guess is that riding on sand would be similar to if you try to hit an edge on sand, you would just sink through it. But you lose that fluffiness. So you're basically just kind of like survival turning down like.
I wonder if you can
rocks.
whip it at all, like whiplash like side to side at all. You could probably flow a tiny bit.
Yeah. Anyway, it looks fun. It looks
cool. It does
cool.
look fun. It wouldn't be the same as snow though.
No.
You're not gliding at all.
No.
You're kind of just rolling down.
Definitely. Yeah. And it'd be
underneath
really
all the sand,
base.
all the sand's just rolling underneath your board.
Yeah. Well, that's essentially what's happening with the snow too.
Especially man-made.
I thought it was melting.
Well, yeah, you kind of get that like almost like a hockey skate, like when you go over a hockey skate on ice, like it creates like enough heat to where you're like if there's like a layer of water, and then you slide on that layer of water. That's what you're doing.
Yeah.
Snowboarding it essentially does a similar thing, where you dig into the snow, and then it creates a little bit of heat, a little bit of friction, and you just slide on that. And I'm sure it's a little different. It's not as like. With hockey skates, it's like very like apparent the change in form, the or what is it, the solid. It goes from a solid to a liquid very quick.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's not as crazy with snow. No. I'm sure a lot of times you're just kind of pushing against it and holding it and stuff. But
pretty much. I taught myself how to skate.
Really?
Yeah. So when I was in grade 11, I really started to play pond hockey with a lot of friends, and I was like, man, I gotta get better. So the first start of the year, that could have been bad. That could have been bad. First start of the year, I just started like looking up YouTube videos, and then I'd go down to the frozen rink, and I would just start like going backwards, and I started doing my crossovers, and I just practiced. Literally, I'd spend like an hour just going back and forth, just stopping as fast as I could.
That's cool. First, stops are like one of the hardest things.
At first I was just like you'd glide one skate over. And I'd just let it glide, like, if anybody's watching on the camera. These are my two skates. I'm skating straight, and then I'd slide my outside foot over, and I'd slow down. Yeah. And eventually I got to that point, and then now it's just like...
almost hop a little bit. And,
pretty much.
Yeah, one kind of interesting thing that I never realized growing up was, like, how lucky I was to be able to play hockey. Like, growing up, I was just like, I can just play hockey, like, whatever.
Yeah. It's just a sport.
I was born into this world, somebody strapped skates on me, gave me a hockey stick, and now this is what I do.
Now I'm a sharpshooter.
I didn't know that hockey's really friggin' expensive, and that, like, you need parents that are or guardians that are very committed to drive you all over the friggin' everywhere, and spend copious amounts of money on gear, and on ice times, and on blah, 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 hotels, this, that. I'm very lucky. It's something when you're growing up, I'm sure your parents tell you, but you don't really understand it until you're an age, and I'm sure other people have understood it differently too. But when you're an age to where, like, you don't, I never really truly understood it until I was an age where I feel as though, and people around me are starting to have children. Not, actually, I feel like I'm still quite young to have children. But people around my age are having children. And they have to contemplate, putting them in organized sports.
Yeah.
And hockey would be very daunting for me, myself, to put my child into because it's a ginormous commitment and it's a lot of money. So I was very lucky. Shout out to my parents. Shout out to all hockey parents. Shout out to all parents anyway, because not all parents are fortunate enough to even let their kids do any of this stuff.
Yeah. And especially the hockey moms out there. International Women's Day.
Shout out to hockey moms for multiple reasons. Just joking. That's a joke.
We wouldn't be playing without them.
Hockey moms are scary. Like how there's like a
they're a different breed.
Yeah, you cheer in hockey. You're like, go hockey. Well,
who's doing that?
A hockey mom, you hear about the whole crowd. Yeah. Like if there's
you can depict mom, like the which
they got
ones
the
are
freaking cowbell. They got the like. Oh my gosh, yeah. Shout out to those people. You guys are great.
They're the ones standing up the whole game.
They're the ones that are driving multiple hours to sit in a cold box.
Pretty much.
And to watch their kids go around in circles. Shout out to you. Speaking of round in circles, do you watch Formula One?
I don't, but when I went to Halifax... No, listen. I don't understand it.
Yeah, me neither. Still watch
You just support your friends.
I just like the. Okay, this is anyone who started watching F1 in the last year. You owe all of your love to Netflix. Shout out to Netflix.
Yeah.
Have you watched the Netflix series?
I started to.
So once you finish both, I think there's 2 seasons. Once you finish both, you're gonna be the biggest F1 fan ever.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm
a huge F1 fan. So cool.
You're the biggest.
No.
The biggest. You represent. You have a car, actually.
I wish.
No, I was in Halifax and I was with you, and it was your birthday. I just happened to be. It was good timing.
Yeah.
But when we stopped and watched the sport, I was like, I don't understand a single thing that's going on.
Honestly,
all I see is wiggles throughout a track and cars just coming close quarters with the edge. That's
honestly,
all I see.
it's not a very
entertaining.
It's not a very. It's entertaining in a sense that you have to know what you're watching.
Mm-hmm.
So the most entertaining bits of a F1 race is the first lap. And I think a lap usually takes like a minute-ish, maybe. First 3 or 4 laps when everyone's really close together.
Yeah.
And then the last 2 or 3 laps because there's strategy involved. So like you have to know about what you're watching. So there's like one of the an easy one to explain is tires. So tires in F1 are very important because tires burn out. Okay, so basically what you have to do is you have to strategize, and there's this thing called pace as well. So pace, it's all good and great that you can drive.
Pace is in everything.
Yeah,
every sport.
Yeah. So it's all
I know
good.
what you mean in driving form, pace is important.
It's all good and great that you can drive really fast, but your pace is your ability to drive fast for a period of time, right, and have like a consistent pace.
Is there a certain speed? Like you can't go too fast all the time, too, right? Like, or do you just want to?
I don't. Yeah. So that's what kind of you're balancing. So basically, your car is literally in an F1, and I'm not an expert on any of this stuff, guys. So
we're just having a conversation. He's just teaching me stuff.
So your car is, as an F1 driver, is more than capable of burning your tires completely off. Super powerful. So what you're doing is you're basically trying to find that delicate balance and drive on the absolute fringe on the. Like you're trying to push your car as hard as it can without spinning it out. So you're driving on the edge all the time. What does that do? That heats up your tires and wears them out, makes them crap. All right. So there's different compounds of tires, and there's 3 for every race. There's like soft, medium, and hard, and that changes every race too. So sometimes like soft is really soft, sometimes soft is actually kind of hard. It depends on like the distribution of what softness and hardness is that race.
Does the track depict that?
Yeah. Your team is planning. They're figuring out exactly what to use when. So where,
certain tracks are causing different tires.
Certain temperatures, like
weather.
Whether it's whether it's raining or not, that totally impacts tires more so than anything. And also, so listen to this: if it's a wet races are the most fun to watch because wet races really reduce the gap. So companies like Mercedes, Ferrari, Red Bull. McLaren, whatever.
What does Red Bull use for a car?
They're all custom-made cars.
They're not a specific. They don't use a specific brand as a.
Some do. Like for example, last year they used a Honda engine. Before that, they used a McLaren engine. Okay. Maybe not. I don't know. I'm not an expert. Where was I?
Tires. Weather.
Anyway, you basically plan on when to take your pit stop. And how many laps you can get out of your tires in order to, because like it's not just like okay 1 lap and we're gonna whose car is the fastest.
Yeah.
It's like whose tires are gonna last the longest so that they can put them in the right spot by the end of the race kind of thing. There's all this planning going on. It's very strategic. It's very complicated. It's super enjoyable if you know what you're watching, and watching that Netflix show really kind of in a very entertaining and engaging way kind of takes you through what's going on and why stuff matters or not. But basically F1 in a sense can be really boring too because the top teams and this year they introduced a new car, which is cool, which is going to get rid of the gap. But remember when I said like a rainy day is the best race? So cars made from like Ferrari, McLaren, Red Bull, they're going to be faster than cars like Haas, and I'm trying to think of another one. I just want to say Lotus, but it's not Lotus. I don't know, Toro Rosso, that's an old one. Alpine. Anyway, they have more money to spend on strategy. They have more money to spend on design. They have more money to spend on everything. Mm-hmm. So their cars are faster. Yeah. So literally on a regular race day, they're going to win because they have the pace. Yeah. And that's the way it is. And you basically work as a team to kind of get better and better to chip away at these guys, but really they're going to win all the time. Yeah. So on a day that it's raining, anything can happen because the track is wet and the cars like to spin. And for example, like that's when really the driver is what wins, not necessarily the car.
Yeah, because you got to be able to handle that car.
Yeah, so like Lewis Hamilton is like unreal at rain driving. Really? So like he'll win a lot of rain races. He'll win a lot of races in general because he's the best Formula One driver in the world, and it's all about feel and getting used to your car and designing the car to where you're the best.
Mm-hmm. And they always have two drivers, right?
Yeah, they have two cars on the track. Yeah, so every team has two cars, mm-hmm. and they're both driving. Yeah, and basically what you're trying to do is there's the World Championship and then there's the Constructors' Cup. So the World Championship is you get points every race. So first place gets like 25 points, second place gets like 18 points, third place gets like, and it just drops actually quite significantly, and you're out of the points, so you don't get any points if you're past 10th place. Okay. So if you have the most points as a driver, you win the championship, mm-hmm. which is super prestigious, like insane. Like it's insane if you win like a world championship. Yeah. Like, insane. Lewis Hamilton's won like 7 of them, which is ties Mick Schumacher for the record ever, which is like just like mind blowing. Like winning one is like you've just
that's insane.
Done the impossible.
Yeah. So winning, 7.
Yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, the Constructors' Cup. That's the team. So it's team based. So however many points both drivers have. Yeah. So for example, this year you might have watched it. What's his name? The Red Bull guy.
Max?
Yeah, Max Verstappen.
Verstappen, yeah.
Won.
I was going to say Patterson, but I knew it was
Verstappen. Yeah. Anyway, he won the Drivers' Championship. Okay, so he won the drive. And that one's like the big one. Like the big one's the driver. Yeah. But then Mercedes won the Constructors because Valtteri Bottas and Hamilton had both the most compiled points. Mm-hmm.
So that's what I know about F1.
Yeah, I need to educate myself more.
It's really a good sport.
It would be interesting.
It's like
it did hit a trend, right?
Like with the Netflix,
This past couple years, it's been.
So really... I think it was like kind of dying, and the people that I watched like a video on this, the people that were like managing Formula One were like really messing it up. Like they were like no cameras, like you gotta pay to come, you gotta pay to watch. Like you guys aren't seeing anything, which is a horrible way to introduce people to a sport,
especially to promote it, especially when everything's online.
The best way to do it is just like open it up, like this is what's going on, what's up. So I think that what happened was the Formula One, whatever the people that were controlling the media got sold or changed. Mm-hmm. So like apparently like the social media for Formula One used to be like they would only post like the grid number, so like who got in first to last, and that'd be like great race, like that would be it, and then it would say it, and it's so boring and horrible. But now it's like there's these videos of them like the drivers interacting, and they make like these montages of this crazy. Anyway, it's just very engaging and better.
That's what you want. Really, you can give out so much free content, but like giving out all that will just bring so much more attraction to the sport.
So much more money. Yeah.
Which is true.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think it was
a spike.
Yeah. I think it was kind of dying. Like it was like an old man sport. It's like a very prestigious automobile racing. Kind of boring to watch, to be completely honest with you.
Like
if you don't know what you're watching.
And it's like if you don't have the money, then you can't go see it.
Much. Yeah. And speaking of money, if you don't have money, you can't drive a car.
Oh my
You're not driving a car.
Are they all billionaires? Like is that...
Well, no, what happens is basically you start karting. And then you have to spend a lot of money, and it's like a lot like hockey, where it's very expensive to make and maintain a race car, a little cart. Mm-hmm. You need to drive all over and do all these races, and then if you're good enough, you get sponsorships. So that's how you get better. You're already in a good position if your parents are extremely wealthy. Yeah, that's the case in any sport. If your parents are extremely wealthy, they can pay for any sort of specialized training, anything at all. Especially if you actually have like like the ability to do this stuff, like if you're naturally gifted, oh man, you're set. You're gonna be a legend.
Yeah.
But some people, like Lewis Hamilton, which is pretty crazy because he's the best Formula One driver ever, weren't as well off. I'm sure his parents were pretty decently well off. I'm not actually sure.
But compared to the F1
compared to the other
community?
people, apparently,
Yeah.
compared to the rest of the grid, no. Some of them, like I think Damon Albarn, he's not very wealthy, but anyway, so how you do is you get sponsorships. So they pay for your cars, they pay for your suits, they pay for all your stuff. And then if you get good enough, you win more races, get more sponsorships. Like Sergio Perez, who's one of my favorite F1 drivers. Shout out to Checo. I'm talking like I know it that good. I don't know Formula One that good.
It's okay. I'm learning lots.
He is like backed by like a billionaire in Mexico. He's Mexican.
Wow.
So yeah, so like you just get people in your team, in your and then you're set. You just get the money, and the amount of money you have, 1,000% correlates to you getting a seat in F1 or not. Like Nikita,
I believe it.
Have you heard of Nikita Mazepin? He's a Russian. He got axed from Haas. Haas race team. Who was like the kind of the lowest one. He used to crash all the time. That's why he got the name Nikita Mazepin. Oh. But anyway, he was backed by a ginormous Russian billionaire or whatever. So he got a seat.
Was that the pink car? That's all I remember.
No, that's BTN. That was Racing Point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, who is now...
I really haven't watched
Aston
much
Martin?
of the Netflix show.
Yeah, I think it's Aston Martin now.
I think you're right as well.
Or maybe it's Alpine. Maybe Alpine is BTM.
I think it's Aston
anyway,
Martin.
well, I think I think Racing Point turned into Aston Martin, but I think that BTM, which I don't know who that is, but it's a company that I think their logo's pink, and they sponsor people, and I'm pretty sure the Alpine car is sponsored by that company, and it's now pink this year.
Okay.
Pink and blue, which is ugly, but I really like it.
You don't like it? I like the pink.
I do too.
I think the
it's
pink car
ugly.
looks- I think the
I'm
pink
not going
car
to tell
looks
you sit
amazing.
here and tell you it looks great, but I like it. Does that make sense?
Sure.
I usually like a lot of stuff that looks
I think
funny.
whatever I like, I think's cool, so I like it.
Yeah.
I think it's cool.
Yeah.
The training involved in F1 is probably insane too.
Oh yeah, like multiple G's. Like you'll see them like in a little thing, and they'll be like,
Yeah, I've seen people joining F1 racers and they pass out behind them, like when there's two seats in there.
Yeah.
And then the person in the back's like,
yeah.
and then
The amount of strength that it takes. Like I saw a video of a guy that was driving one, and he said he hit the brakes and his head just went like he couldn't like lift his head up because it was so much pressure.
That's
Got it
insane.
up, and then he made the turn. Yeah, it's just like they're extremely strong.
They're always
those
training
guys.
their neck. I've watched a couple like with
It's
those.
insane.
Like, they have like machines on each side, like there's a band around their
Yeah,
head, and they're
and
like
they're
fighting
like-
against it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they have the handle
Yeah,
or the
and they have like a
steering wheel.
limit for like how heavy they have to be because like the car's like designed specifically.
Sorry, I can't take those glasses.
I look good.
I think it's actually
I really
fits perfect.
I
with
really
your
want
look.
a pair of Pit Vipers. I've always wanted to set.
I like that you're rocking the stash, and it's not even November right now.
I've been rocking the stash for a couple of years now.
Really?
I'll just grow out my beard, which looks really bad, and then I'll shave it, but I'll almost always leave the stash. The last time I shaved my stash was at the start of November. Last
You know what helps with that?
What?
Sussex beard oil.
That's what's in. That's in this mustache right now.
Really?
Yeah, not
need
the
to-
ginger oil. Not gonna lie, I'm not a fan of the ginger oil. I just like the regular stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Smells delicious.
I had him on before you.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
Matt White. I love Matt White. Shout out to that guy too.
Yeah, I need to work on it. I got like little patches here.
Yeah, one of the biggest issues I run into is it's first of all it's really patchy in my cheeks, but I also if you look at my mustache too, I have a lot of blonde in it.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll just be like blonde strands, and it just looks like nothing. So it's like yeah, so
not
it
worth
looks
it.
even more patchy.
Not worth it. You
But
gotta show off the
I think
jawline,
if I
too.
kept it and just grew it right out, I think it'd look okay.
I think what you should do is just like leave a lot of individual long ones, and it's just kind of like a I don't know.
Yeah,
like
well, I
seaweed underneath.
think I look pretty cute the way I am, Mitchell. So
I was just thinking maybe add some seaweed to your chin.
I think
And you'd look,
I'm pretty cute.
hey,
Just
that's all that matters.
I think that you're pretty cute. You
Oh,
want some more
thanks.
drinky drink?
Yeah, sure. Some drinky drink, some hot chocolate.
I wore this shirt here for a reason.
What's it say? That's
The Sheepdog. I
Sheepdogs.
want to shout out the Sheepdog. Sheepdogs are my favorite Canadian band.
I
probably-
did not know they were Canadian.
Probably my favorite band, but I just like to asterisk Canadian
I didn't-
because
I
I,
didn't
got
know
a
they were
lot
Canadian.
of favorite bands. They are Canadian. Yeah.
I did not know that.
It's
at
the
all.
only band that I've seen multiple times. I haven't been to very many.
Do you like
concerts.
Shaky Graves?
The Shaggy Grace is my favorite artist.
Okay.
Yeah. He's not a band. Well, kind of is, but he's
I
more
thought
of just
there's
an
more-
individual
Well,
artist.
yeah.
Alejandro
Known as a
Garcia.
single, but has multiple.
Yeah, he's got more of a band now. Have you listened to his new song?
No.
Ready or Not. Connor showed me that. Connor Jones, shout out to that guy. your brother.
Love Shaky Graves.
Yeah, he does love Shaky. We all love Shaky Graves. Shaky Graves is the best. One. Okay, so I'm gonna be a broken record because anyone who knows me knows that I've been gawking on about this for the last like week. My favorite music right now.
Reggae.
No. No. I do love reggae and I love ska. Ska is probably my favorite. Ska is like reggae rock.
I've never heard of it.
Love ska. You know, like Sublime?
No, I don't.
Yeah, well, Sublime
Your
is
music
ska.
knowledge has surpassed my music knowledge.
Anyway, you ever heard of Alice in Chains?
Nope.
Okay, so they're like a grunge band from like the 90s. Like their lead singer, Lane Staley, died. Anyway, so they haven't really been active. I'm sure they still do stuff. But anyway, they have a Unplugged album. So, you know, like MTV Unplugged.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, Pearl Jam and Nirvana, and they all did it. Alice in Chains did it. And I'm not even a big, like, I do like Alice in Chains, and I didn't really know them that great. But my gosh, that album is so good. Like, nuts. Like, go home right now, everyone that's listening. Download Alice in Chains on MTV Unplugged.
I'll throw up a picture
Just
of the album.
do it. It's amazing.
I'll throw up a picture of the album.
Yeah, not every song is amazing, but most of them are just too good. It's Lane Staley and Jerry Cantrell. That's like Lane Staley's the lead singer. Jerry Cantrell is the main songwriter, guitar player, and backup vocalist.
Okay.
They have a harmony that will literally just melt you in half. So good.
I'm gonna check it.
I've been
out.
obsessed with it.
I'm gonna check it. Maybe I'll end the podcast with a little snippet of the song.
Yeah, do it. Do
Little
it.
Snippet.
We will.
I'll get you to send me your favorite. And
'Kay.
I'll just put a little snippet of the.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I have to go. I have to go pee.
Yeah. Go pee.
Can I go pee?
Yeah. Go
Cool.
pee. I said all bad things about you when you're gone.
Good. That's all I deserve. Yeah, no. I don't know if you guys heard me because I was away from the mic. This place is so sick. It's the coolest. This is the coolest
I
studio.
wish I could have a live audience or something.
That'd be pretty cool. You could just put a laugh track in. And then, yeah. Or like, you know what the best one would be is like, you know, in SpongeBob where the guy's like, my leg. You should put that in. I love that one.
My favorite one. Me and Nick talk about it all the time. It's like chocolate. Did you say chocolate?
Did you say chocolate? Yeah. Oh man.
What did he say?
My mind just blanked, but there's so many quotable stuff on the internet that I just love so much. It's amazing.
I feel like you know a lot.
Maybe. I am on the internet a decent amount. More than I should be.
I think most people are on more than
It's
they should
true.
be.
It's bad. It's bad. It's because the freaking algorithms make you want to do it. You know what's the most like dirty trick in the book? Dirtiest trick. So, you know TikTok. TikTok is like
exactly what you're gonna say.
specifically designed to like keep you in it, right? Like there's no breaks in the videos. You literally just go video. And it's
Before you keep going, are you going to talk about like China and like the Western world?
No,
Oh, okay.
I don't think so.
Perfect. Keep going.
No. Anyway, so yes, I love the feeling of your feet. So I don't have TikTok on my phone because I know it would just eat up all my time, and it's horrible because literally it like hijacks your brain reward system for like constant, you know, little dopamine hits.
Yeah.
So I tried to stay clear of it. However, the dirtiest trick, Instagram Reels. That is
Brutal.
the worst. I will catch myself like half hour, like hour sometimes in, just sitting there, just like drooling. Like
Me
it's
too.
horrible. It's horrible.
I have TikTok, but I've never used it.
Yeah, I don't have it, but it's just a time suck. I hate time sucks unless they're good
But
ones.
Instagram Reels is brutal.
Yeah, it's
I
the
don't know
same
what-
thing. It's the exact
It's
same
the
thing.
same, but I don't know what it is. But I don't know. It's more.
It's just like seamless videos of just like
I
stuff
know.
that the algorithm thinks you'll like, and it's all very intriguing stuff. But it's all just junk. Like
and
you
it's-
just
and
forget
it's quick
it.
too.
Instant-
It's like, oh, if I don't want to remember that,
instant
keep going.
gratification. Instant gratification every time. And it'll and a weird thing about not a weird thing, a genius thing about the algorithm that really sucks is and everyone knows this. It'll purposely cultivate, you know, negative stuff that you feel negatively towards, because when you feel negatively towards something, you're more likely to interact with it.
I didn't
So
know that.
yeah. So that's why you will mainly see a lot of negative or stuff that you find cringy, or it'll do that purposely, and you'll see videos that are cringy and that'll like there's like a word spelt
Can
wrong.
you give me
or-
an example?
like I don't know, like there'll be like a video of like this ad, and it'll be like, I tried this 3 times and it not work, and like, and it's that little voice that everyone, like, it's just like the TikTok reader.
Yeah.
It'll be like that, and it'll say it wrong, and there'll be 1,000 comments being like, she said it wrong. That's spelt wrong. They do that on purpose. They're literally doing it on purpose. Or like, it'll be like a girl, and it'll be really cringy. It'll be like because like everyone knows, like, sex appeal, whatever, that'll work. So like, but they'll purposely like pick like someone maybe with like their face looks kind of weird or something, and like it's literally purposeful because people in the comments, her face is ugly. Like, what? This is cringe. Like, what? You're interacting with it. And that's what they want.
And
they want interaction. That's what gets the money.
So, do you know...
And that's what makes you remember it.
Do you know what's really dirty?
What?
So, TikTok isn't an American app, right?
Yeah.
It's over in China or whatever. I don't know, one of those
it was
places.
developed by not America.
By not America. So, it's brutal. No.
I think I've heard what you're about to say.
I think so, too. But the algorithm works, so in the Western side, it works that we like promote like dancing
like
and
counterproductive
music and
stuff.
Yeah, like just entertainment.
Yeah.
Like just kind of like mind numbing stuff. Yeah, just super relevant to helping us, I guess. And in China and like Japan, they promote like
science and
science and like creative designing and health and like all that. So
damn it.
Yeah, if we could just boost that, that'd be amazing. Cuz like
talk.
If you're constantly getting like innovative things, your mind's going to start thinking, oh, like, how can I make something better or do something?
I think a lot of it's just junk, but I do know what that is.
Yeah.
I do know what you mean. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we're on the junk side of it.
One thing that's great about all this stuff is as access to information is beautiful. There's a lot of misinformation now, but access to information is great. But one of the greatest things that me personally I've experienced from, being in a more technological world, learning how to play music is the easiest thing ever. Okay, so if I once you have a basis, like so I have like a pretty decent base of playing guitar.
Mm-hmm.
I can play all the chords, not all the chords. There's chords everywhere. I don't know the names of bar chords. That's a whole different animal. But any of your traditional kind of bottom of the neck chords, I know them. So you can kind of learn stuff 3 different ways, I guess. Someone can teach you, which is the best way, because that person's like, there. You do this here. It's just the most efficient, easiest way to do it. There's looking up tabs or like, music sheets and stuff like Ultimate Guitar, which is awesome, especially if you're trying to learn the words or like figure out, when to change what chord and stuff. That's great. That's what you'll use most of the time. But the best thing ever is there's thousands of YouTube videos of just people just showing you how to play it. And yes, there's a lot of bad ones. Yeah, there is, totally. But most of the time you can find a really good one. And if you have that basis, you can play anything. Because there's literally someone just saying, put your hand here, you do this. Put your hand here, you do this, blah, blah, blah. It's awesome. If you want to learn music, once you have that bass down, it takes a lot of practice. And it takes a lot of time and effort and stuff. Excuse me, but once you have that down, the world is your oyster in terms of being able to play almost anything, especially if it's somewhat popular, because it's going to be out there on YouTube and you're going to be able to learn it pretty dang quick. Yeah. It's awesome.
I think I had a bad strategy when I jumped in on it. So that guitar that you were playing with me earlier, that actually was gifted by my Nana that passed away.
Oh, nice.
Awesome.
That's a nice guitar. It sounds really good.
Yeah, it's very nice.
It's got good action on it, too. It's not like, the neck isn't totally bowed out, which is nice.
But my dad plays bass, but
that's cool.
Yeah.
Randy's badass.
We have a chart that just has all the chords, like every chord that you can play. And I was just memorizing like one chord a week. But then
that's cool.
I don't know, things got in the way.
The only way, in my opinion, unless you're like classically trained with stuff or whatever, the only way you're ever going to learn or you're ever going to want to learn or like the only time you're ever going to actually enjoy yourself is if you listen to a song, you like the song, and you're like, I want to learn how to play this song. And then you learn how to play it, and then you figure out how to play it. The amount of like accomplishment, like dopamine rush to your brain, like, oh man, it's insane. But there's kind of a bit of an art to doing that, because you can't just be like, this song I really like and I'm going to learn it, because it could be very complicated. And you just like, shoot, you picked the wrong song. But most songs, pick a
semi-easy song.
And you won't really know this until you look it up on Ultimate Guitar or whatever. But most songs are just very simple chord progressions. That's like especially just basis of songs. Like, of course, there's fancy licks and this and that. But Yeah, most of them are literally just going to be C, D, G. That's like a lot of, especially if you ever heard of the artist John Prine. You know John Prine?
No.
John Prine is like one of my favorite artists ever. He's amazing, and I know plenty of his songs, like a lot of them, because they're all C, D, G, C, A minor, F. Like it's all very, like all the same chords, just in different way, like different kind of orientations. And if you want to ever learn how to finger pick, he's a huge finger picker. So you can practice finger picking with his songs and just easy chords. But then you just, this hand is doing all the work.
Is that hard to get used to picking?
Yeah, it takes a while.
What's the trick? Like,
like literally, learn the way that I would do it is you slowly figure out what to pluck, and you literally just sit there. And I would even close my eyes.
And just try to feel for it?
And just do it. Just keep doing it. And you'll do it really slow. And then all of a sudden, you'll be able to do it really fast.
Yeah.
And you just
that dexterity in your fingers is a big thing to learn.
Strength, too.
Strength?
So, yeah.
Oh,
so
pushing on the chord?
Yeah. So, if you don't play guitar, if you do play guitar, you take this for granted. But if you don't play guitar, you actually have to press pretty hard on the strings to be able to ring them out. But one of the hardest things, probably like, I would say the hardest chord, there's obviously chords that stretch your hands out like crazy. But probably the hardest basic chord is an F. The reason for that is the bar chord. It doesn't have to be a bar chord. You can play it a different way, which actually John Prine usually does because it's better for picking because you have more fingers available to do like little licks and stuff. But
what's a lick?
A lick is just like a little like embellishment on a chord. So like you know how I was playing a D earlier and it was like I did that
yeah.
That's a lick. That's a little or not even it's an embellishment. You can kind of use those words sort of
if your playing was like a taste, adding a little bit to it.
Yeah, a little bit of spice.
Yeah,
to it.
yeah,
exactly. What was I saying?
You were talking about strength in your
fingers.
Oh
yeah, so that F chord, it's all the way to at the bottom, the closest to your tuners on so that part of the guitar, it's really hard to bar. So bar is taking your whole finger and pressing it into the string.
I tried a few
so
times
that it rings out cleanly. That takes a lot of hand strength and a lot of practice, and it's really hard.
Because a lot of times you're uneven, right?
Yeah, a lot of times a lot of times you're just pressing on it, and you're not actually pressing it into the wood. You just have your finger on it, so it's like you're almost just like muting. Yeah. Like if you just put your finger rest it on a string, you mute it. It's not gonna make. Yeah. It's not gonna. It's just vibrate. Gonna go. Boom. Yeah. You need vibration to make noise, right?
Well, when you press it, your finger actually isn't what's stopping it. It's that next fret, right? That's actually like holding it basically.
Yeah. I don't know.
Some vibration going on.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just all vibration. So if your chord isn't vibrating, if it's being stuck in place, it's not gonna do it. So
that's my biggest issue too. Is sometimes a finger will be touching the chord that I want it to hold on to, but then the same finger will be like slightly touching another finger. That's like tough. Like
you gotta pretend you got like a golf ball in your hand.
Yeah, I don't know.
There's one word that is gonna be the whole meal ticket to the whole experience. Muscle memory. That's all it is.
Really?
You're basically just getting your there's a little brain in your hand. All right, you don't get, and once your hand knows how to do it, your brain doesn't have to tell your hand to do it. Your hand just does it.
Just like walking,
right?
Like
exactly.
You don't have to think about walking.
It becomes automatic. Yeah, it's a cool thing. It's like multitasking. You can never truly multitask unless one of the activities that you're multitasking with is automatic. All right. So, like for example, a really kind of stupid example is chewing gum and walking. All right. You walk automatically. You don't have to think about walking. You just do it. So while you're walking, you're chewing your gum and you don't have to think. It's a dumb example. But for example.
What about chewing gum and biking? We got to think about biking a little bit.
Now you're adding to the pile. That's intense. But yeah, so one of the best examples really is singing when you're playing guitar. So playing guitar is all good and great. But if you can sing while you play your guitar, that literally just means that whatever you're playing, you're not thinking about. It's automatic. You're doing it automatically. Your brain is not focused on your hands and playing the guitar. Your brain is focused on saying what word is correct and also matching the pitch of your voice to whatever you're playing. So if somebody is singing while they're playing guitar, it means that the guitar that they're playing, they're not thinking about. It's automatic.
That's crazy.
Multitasking. Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it would just be second nature after you spend so much time. I do need to spend more time. My grandmother did say, she was like, you're a guitar player, you just don't know it yet. That's what she said. Which is kind of a
It's
crazy.
inside all of us. Some people think, my fingers are too small. My fingers are too.
It takes time.
No, you just got to do it.
How long did it take for your fingers to get like normalized to?
My little calloused
Yeah.
fingers, they still hurt if you play.
Still hurt?
Yeah, like I don't play all the time. I should play more.
If you played more, I feel like you'd just
at the peak. So my peak of playing, probably one of my peaks of playing would have been this summer because I played a lot at the Tipsy Tail in Alma. I played with a guy named Nick Vino. He's an awesome dude. Has a big bellowing voice, and he's quite a bit older than I am.
Did you play on stage?
Yep.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
I'd play with him. Yeah. He's an awesome
I'll
guy.
have to come check it out
He's
this
never
summer.
gonna watch this podcast, but shout out to Nick Vino. He's
Why
a
not?
really cool guy.
Send it to him.
I don't know. He's not gonna watch this podcast. Anyway, shout out to him. Yeah. So like when I used to play with him, like I'd be on stage and my fingers would be burning. Like my fingers, literally, I feel like I'm gonna die. And you just keep playing because like you're not gonna stop.
Well, you're in that headspace.
Yeah,
of like,
you're just ripping,
Yeah.
right? And then your fingers like literally like black, like you got like your strain,
Yeah.
like it's like residue on your finger, and your fingers literally look like they've been like grated with cheese. And and then just keep playing. It hurts. It hurts.
Your fingers were grated with
hurts.
cheese.
That's what it looks like. You just got all these lines all on your fingers.
Your fingers were grated with a
Yeah.
cheese grater,
But that's just like
or fingers were grated.
it's like a
with
metaphor.
cheese. With cheese.
Your fingers are the cheese, and you're grated.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. You said with cheese.
Oh yeah, no cheese.
They're
There's-
super.
if
Oily.
you're playing guitar and your fingers start to make cheese, call a doctor, because that's not supposed to happen, and it's probably not cheese, so don't eat it.
What would it be? I don't know.
Oh, pussy
Ew. No, don't go there.
deliciousness.
Deliciousness.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Scariest time in your life.
Jeepers. Right now,
Wow, a lot of pressure on you.
the Leafs just started a game. We should watch that soon.
What time's it on?
It's on now. Just started.
Oh my goodness.
Put
the game
scariest
in the
time
background.
of my life. I'll tell you this story. Just trying to think. I don't really know. I've been lucky enough to not live a very
Fearful life?
scary life. I mean, I've had it pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm very appreciative of that. One of the most scared I've ever been. So I used to work in a transmission shop. I used to work at Ayton Automatics. All right. So it's owned by Harold Ayton. Love that guy. Big family friend. But I used to do very minimal maintenance there. I mainly just cleaned up. I worked there when I was like in grade 11, or summer of grade 10, grade 11. So I would do brake jobs. So a brake, you just pull the tire off. You loosen, you pull the caliper off, and then you can like replace the rotor or whatever, and you replace the brake pads and all that good stuff. So you can also, whenever you do that kind of stuff, you can also bleed the brakes. So that's like there's just like brake fluid in a line, and it needs to be pressurized in order for when you hit the foot. It's just hydraulic fluid. When you press the brake, you get that feeling of you pressing the brake. So when you do brake work and you put everything back together, nobody told me this, but you need to pump the brakes back up. You basically need to rid all the air
You gotta get
of the system so that you get a good brake feel pressure.
We need
and
that
then,
pressure,
And then
yeah,
you can
exactly.
your pads will clamp your rotor. So no one told me this. So I hop in a car that has just been on the lift, and I'm in a garage, a multi-million-dollar garage, and the car is probably worth $5,000-$6,000. I don't think it was a beautiful car, but it was a pretty okay car.
Yeah.
Hop in
Somebody's
it.
car.
I hop in it to go drive it into the lot, and I hadn't pumped the brakes. So what do? I put my foot in the brake. Feels a little loose. I just put her all the way. Put her in reverse, and I start to back up. And the orientation of the garage, so it's not a straight shot back.
Mhm.
It's like it's the bay closest to the end. So you have to go back and sideways a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I start to roll backwards, and I begin to turn the wheel a little bit, to get out of the garage.
Yeah.
And I go to slow down,
press the brakes.
Press the brake. It's supposed to stop. And guess what it does? It doesn't fucking stop. So I am in complete panic mode. I'm like, I'm in this car that doesn't belong to me. I'm in a garage that doesn't belong to me. I like none of this is mine. I'm gonna destroy something. There's cars behind me in the parking lot. So I had a stroke of genius, I guess, because what do? I start hitting the brake as many times as I can, which pumps the brake up. So I end up.
Sorry.
So anyway, I'm just gonna quickly finish my story.
Yep.
I end up stopping, and then I close it. I get out. I go park. I close it, and I'm like shaking, like breathing heavy. And I walk up to one of my fellow, shopsmen, and I go, "Do you know what I just did?" And he was like, "What?" And I was like shaking, and he was like, "You didn't pump the brakes." And I was like, "I sure didn't." Anyway, that's probably the scariest I've been, and that's one of the top.
Oh, I didn't even do what I said I was going to do. I said I was going to finish all the water to make you feel uncomfortable.
That's the last thing you drank.
I was more into the beer.
Yeah, so that was the scariest story. Just pumping the brake. That is frightening because
It just killed me. I was like, oof.
Panic mode instantly. That is a scary moment. You got me thinking about my scariest moment.
Yeah, what's your scariest moment?
I really don't. I can't.
Tell me. You gotta tell me now. You got me thinking about my scare. What is it?
Yeah, but I don't know.
I'm not gonna tell you.
No, but I don't know.
Oh.
I'm like thinking because that question came out the top of my head.
That was just a random one.
Yeah. Scariest moment?
My grandfather fell in front of me once. That was scary. I was like really small.
Really?
And I was like, I'm completely
powerless. I have my scariest moment. I have a friend. You saw him here today.
Well, you have a friend?
I have a friend. No, one of the guys that were here today that you walked in on. I'm not going to say names because I don't know if he wants to know about this. So we were skateboarding in the garage. We're hanging out.
I think I know who it was. Oh wait, no, they both skateboard, so I don't know.
Yeah, so you don't know.
Yeah, true.
I'll say taller one.
I know.
I don't think he'd care, but just for the mass majority, I guess. Anyway, so I'm in this garage, in his garage. We're skateboarding. We set up a box. We get the rail going. We're just, I don't know, hanging out for the night. Got the music blaring, just hanging out. Next thing you know, he doesn't tell me about this, but he has it's like genetic, so he, like, when he does get pain, he, like, seizes. He has a seizure. But
okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But I didn't know about this. I didn't know.
Is there like a certain threshold of pain, or is it just like
I don't know? It just kind of hits
bumps the knee and he's sideways?
Yeah, exactly. It's just one. That sucks. It's worse when you're younger, and as you get older, it's better.
Okay.
I think like
it's good that he can drive. Like a lot of people just get seizures randomly.
It's not like that. But his family, like his grandfather and his dad and him, and then I think all the males. Anyway, so we're skateboarding, we're messing around. He tries to hop and do like a 50-50 or something, but like, you know how you catch your truck or something? Just eats it forward. Boom, slams. And I'm a boy, I'm laughing at him. Yeah. Kind of making him like, oh, yeah. Like, are you good?
That's suck, bro, kind of thing, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as they're okay.
Yeah. But he didn't say anything. He just stood up. He just stood up and I was like...
You just burping in the mic?
No, I said his name.
Oh. You're mad at that right now. Yeah. You go, beep! Are you okay?
So he slams on the ground, and I go, man, are you good? Like, are you okay? And he's not talking. He's not saying anything to me. He's just kind of walking around, pacing.
Yeah.
I was like, are you okay? Like, tell me if you're okay. Like, what's going on? Like, I was so confused.
Yeah.
So
Did you know of this prior?
I didn't know of this. Okay. I had no idea.
Yeah, that's sketchy.
I wish he told me before, but I didn't know.
Yeah.
So he's not saying anything, and he ends up sitting, there's a tractor on the other side of the garage. Mm-hmm. So he goes and sits down on it. Mm-hmm. And I'm following. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Like, why are you unresponsive right now? Yeah, literally. Like, you're not responding, not even looking at me.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are you okay? And next thing you know, his head just drops. Like, he was sitting and his head just dropped.
Oh.
And I go, oh my frig!
Yeah, this sounds sketchy. This
and
is worse than my story.
And I go, are you okay? Are you okay? I was like, tell me right now you're joking.
That made me throw right up.
And then he drooled. He drooled all the way down to the base of where like the pedals are of the tractor.
First of all, impressive drool.
Yeah, no, it just like
it was at one strand.
Oh, it was oozing out.
That's
he wasn't shaking at this point.
No.
But his head dropped, spit came out of his mouth. I was like, tell me if you're joking right now. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
So I knew I weren't supposed to touch you because he wasn't shaking, but I knew like in that state, don't touch the person. But I did touch his shoulder. Started to shake.
Yeah. I think you do touch them, right? You put them on their sides.
Well, you wanna protect them so they don't smash their head off. But he's sitting on a he's sitting on a tractor, like
Yeah.
he's gonna fall over.
Yeah.
So he leans over to the side, like
Yeah.
almost on like the steering wheel in a sense.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Tell me you're joking. Tell me you're joking."
Yeah.
And I didn't know whether to run
Surreal.
inside, to leave him, to stay. Like
Yeah.
that's such a tough call.
Yeah.
And I was freaking out, and I was so scared.
Yeah.
Like I have a fear in my voice right now.
I feel it too. Like,
Yeah,
if you look at the camera, my face is like jeepers.
I was so scared, and I didn't know what to do. And I was like, I didn't want to make the wrong decision
Yeah.
because if I didn't stay, I could
You
have
don't-
been
you
there.
don't- you have no idea.
And if I don't stay,
You don't know if this is like new, like if this like
Yeah.
never happened before. kind of
exactly.
thing?
It's like
Yeah.
if I don't stay, I could have missed an opportunity. If I do stay, I could have missed another opportunity.
Sketchy.
Because I was going to run in and tell his parents, "Hey, I don't know what the going
That's
on right
going
now."
on.
Yeah.
This
So
guy
next
is
thing you know,
not
he snapped out of it. Luckily,
Yeah.
usually he your bladder releases, all your muscles get all sore, like.
Yeah.
But he stood right up, didn't talk for another 5 minutes. Nah, I'd say a minute and a half or
Yeah.
something. Didn't say anything, and he was like, sometimes that happens. And then he's trying to explain it, and he's like,
Crazy.
He's all
just flustered. And
flustered, kind of just dead a little bit.
That's crazy. And he definitely knew it was coming, right? He was walking around. He's like,
No, he
"Damn."
doesn't know that it happens sometimes.
So he was just walking around like zombie mode. Like,
Pretty
didn't-
much,
didn't know
yeah.
what was
That's
going
it.
on.
Almost just blacks to him.
That's
pretty much.
scary.
It is very scary.
Yeah, more sucks than
He doesn't remember what happened before.
Yeah,
He just knows he
he just
fell.
hurt himself. And weird. Huh.
It
That
was
is scary. That sounds
scary.
very scary.
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's once really scary moment. Another time.
Let's end the podcast on the most dark note as possible.
Yeah.
Continue.
Hey, we
Continue.
continue a lot. I had a really bad night of events one time. We went to the cottage and we went sea doing with some friends. We ended up wrecking both sea-doos.
Jeepers.
One got tangled in rope and one
That's an easy fix. I just gotta rip it out of the. Well,
yeah.
It depends on if it does damage on the internal part, but yeah.
I think it ruined it.
Sea-Doo
No,
sucks
I
stuff
think
up, and it's not good.
So we ruined one sea-doo and then we took the other one out. I'm pretty sure we ruined that by accident somehow. And then we were driving home and I was in the back. I had no control of the driver.
Mm-hmm.
And we were flying. I knew we were going fast. We're on Belial Bay. We're flying.
Rip.
And I had my head down because I was I don't know.
Sheltered from the wind.
Yeah, no, I don't know what was going on. I think I was really tired. I was in the back of the car,
Wait, sorry, I think I blanked. You're in a car, you're not on the jet ski.
Sorry, yeah. So we were on the jet skis, and then we ruined them. It was started off horrible. We're going home, oh frig, now we got to take these to the shop and fix it. We couldn't fix it. We were underneath, laying basically in the water, trying to
trying
get
to
this
pull it
rope out and
Yeah.
stuff. And then we left, and driving home, my friend Adam Hunt, I don't know. Anyways, he was flying. He was cruising. But I didn't say anything. I was in the back. I just put my head down. I was so tired. Next thing you know, I hear, "There's a stop sign!" And then we just whip. We whip right as fast as we could. And we ended up, skidding across the road and then smashing into the ditch. And all I know is we were, sideways in the car. And I just didn't know what happened. I was so confused.
That's crazy.
And then, yeah, it was
So that ruined the jet skis again?
yeah, we actually had the jet skis hitched to our car. No, I'm just joking.
Wait, you didn't have the jet skis?
No,
again?
we didn't have them with us.
So
We
you
just left them at the
crap,
cottage.
So it was
but-
a bad time.
Yeah, it's just that was a scary day, just because so many incidences, and
Yeah.
it's just what are we gonna tell the owners of the Sea-Doos? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I messed up a jet ski once. This was this side. It just sucks whenever you do something on back.
I know,
Anyway, once I was at Nick Witter's. Shout out to Nick Witter's. Love that guy. I was at his place, his cottage. Well, it actually wasn't his cottage. He has a cottage now, but he actually just had a trailer place, a place to park his trailer that was on the water.
Mm-hmm.
So that was then.
that's popular though.
Yeah, it's awesome, super sick. If I ever have enough money to buy anything, I'll probably do that. 'Cause I don't have any money. But yeah, super dope.
Mm-hmm.
And then, anyway, they have a couple of jet skis, and they had one of the new ones. And if you don't know what the new jet skis are like, the old ones are just if you've ever driven really much of anything, like a quad bike or what else is a snowmobile.
Yeah.
It's most similar to snowmobile, the old ones, where you literally just have a trigger with your thumb and you just pull it. That's it.
Yeah.
That's literally all it is. And then you have like a little stick on the bottom, not a stick, but a little pull thing to go, drive, neutral, reverse kind of thing. So that's all you got. That's it. So if you got a brake, you slap her in reverse, and you go backwards. The new ones are a little bit more high tech. So basically you have 2 triggers on your fingers. One of them is the throttle, like normal. Right? You just pull it like that. And one of them chooses your orientation of your gears. So one of them, it's very kind of confusing.
I've never driven. Like, what year is this? Of a CD.
It's like 2015 and up, let's say. Anyway, they're just the newer ones. I forget the exact way it works, but basically you hold it. If you hold the other trigger, you're in reverse. So if you hold it, you hit and you go backwards. You hit it once and you're in drive, and I think that if you hit it twice or something, or if you hit it once, you're in neutral. And I think if you hit it twice, anyway, it's a little bit confusing. All right, especially if you're not used to that.
Familiar with that style.
You're just used to the regular one where if you got to go backwards, you just go. You're back. So I'm going to dock them, and there's these docks, like floating docks that you go up onto. Just a recipe for disaster. Anyway, what happened was I got going on it sideways because it's pretty shallow where theirs was at, and a lot of people, this happened to a lot of people. A lot of people just go right up over, hit it as a jump, and go right over the dock and break stuff, and it happens all the time because people just are too hot with the throttle. What I did was different. I went in sort of sideways, and I started to hit the gas, and I realized that I wanted to back out, and then I was just kind of in a panic, sorta, and I was trying to back up, and I hit the wrong button, and then I started to go forward, and I really panicked, and I hit it really forward. Anyway, I ended up breaking a fin off of their other one, which sucked. Imagine you're just sitting on someone else's thing, and then you break another thing, and you're just and your dad's there, and he's just like, "What the frig, man? What'd you do?" You're just like, "I'm the biggest idiot ever. I'm just a big dumb boy." So yeah, that sucks. Jet ski story.
Yeah, jet ski. There's so many things.
Don't buy jet skis; they break. But buy them because they're really fun.
That's funny. That's a good way to end the note.
Yeah,
end the podcast. Sam, sorry.
This is my podcast once again.
Yeah, this is Sam Malone's podcast.
I really appreciate you having you on.
Yeah, it was a pleasure.
You're a sexy man.
Thank you.
You got that physique.
Well, you only have cute guys, you said, or something like that.
Yeah, it's called Sam Talks to Hot Dudes. That's the podcast name. I know it says absolute up here. Sam Talks. There's an H somewhere.
To
hot. You're dudes.
Talks to dudes.
It's a palindrome.
What's that?
A palindrome is a word that's spelt the same way backwards and forwards. So
Oh,
it's definitely not.
I've never heard it.
Yeah.
No,
like kayak.
Oh.
Kayak spelled forward and back. Nurses run. So that's 2 words together. Dad, mom. They're all palindromes.
Cool. I didn't know they were called palindromes.
Yeah. Well, no. In all seriousness, I really appreciate you having me. I hope I come back on.
No, I will definitely.
I feel like I've only really talked about sort of a little bit of what I like to talk about.
What you know and who you are.
Yeah. I don't know much.
It is hard. No, I don't know anything either. So, I think everybody knows something though. That's what's nice.
It's funny. I when I think of this podcast, obviously a lot of people, myself, I listen to a lot of Joe Rogan's podcasts.
Yeah. I like Joe. He's awesome.
I love Joe. He has a lot of very great and very famous podcasts with very smart experts in their field and stuff. Mm-hmm. A lot of them. Those are all great. But to be completely honest with you, my favorite podcasts to listen to that are his are the ones that he does with his friends. His fellow comrades.
Because they're funny and relaxed.
Usually they're comedians. Yeah. That's the big thing.
I like Joey Diaz. He's funny.
Yeah, I love Joey Diaz. My favorite is Tim Dillon. Have you listened to Tim Dillon? He has his own podcast. I'm going to shout out both Tim Dillon's podcast and Tim Dillon as a human is hilarious. He's probably my favorite comic right now, and I think Nathan would.
You know who I love? Theo Von.
Theo Von, yeah, he's up there too. Theo Von is hilarious.
He kills me.
So anyway, that's the ones I always download. Is the ones that he's talking to fellow comedians, just friends of his, because they just go anywhere and they're just enjoyable to listen to.
Yeah.
So
that's what I like. I like it relaxed. I do want to have interesting people, but if we get off topic, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's good to have a nice mix. I hope some people listen to this. If you're in this far, like, I'm sorry. Like, this is probably like I've never been on a podcast before, so
yeah, that's the biggest.
We'll see how it turns out.
That's the biggest struggle too. Is
hope you don't like cut. You should like cut my words, so it's just like what's the most like worst thing I could say right now? Like,
just like edit it to be super bad.
You don't have to edit that one.
Uh,
but in all seriousness, I shouldn't even joke about that. Shout out to people in Ukraine. That's actually a really horrible humanitarian disaster. So it is. I'm being 100% serious. I don't want to be joking about that.
You are good with the camera.
I keep looking at it.
I'll make that the thumbnail. You winking.
Yeah.
No, I really do appreciate having you on, and you're an amazing human being, and I think a lot of people are gonna tune in.
You're an amazing human being.
You're super talkative.
I hope I talked about stuff that was cool that people like to listen to.
I think everybody will. What I like is, since we're in such a small community right now, is like most people listening are from around here. Not everybody. I know a lot of people that are listening that aren't, like, they don't probably know you at all. Like, or I know that for a fact.
It's probably for the best.
No, I don't know where I was going with that actually at all.
Well,
what was I saying?
You're talking about how like people that know us would be listening, but also people that wouldn't know.
I got a lot of feedback that they're glad that the people that they know of, but they don't know much about them, that they get to learn more about them. Mm-hmm. So people that know of Sam Malone will learn a little more about Sam Malone.
You've learned very little about me.
Yeah, but like they'll get a perspective of something that they've never seen of you.
It's true. What's up, my name's
Sam. It's your first podcast. You've probably mentioned stuff that you wouldn't talk to a normal person, but there's hundreds of people listening to you right now.
It's true. Hey, everyone.
Anyways, we'll end it. Thank you very much.
My pleasure.
Where can they find you? Instagram? I usually show up
my address. That's cool. Come say hi. No, I'm just joking. If you come, don't.
I'm gonna cut that out.
My Instagram. No, I'm gonna be like what's his name? What's that guy's name? Paul Rudd.
Yeah,
Paul Rudd.
I know Paul Rudd.
He was on Hot Ones, and he always does that. Where can you find you? Just find what you want to find and do what you want to do. My name's Sam.
No, find him on Instagram. Follow him up.
Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm not as cool as Paul Rudd. My Instagram is it's my name twice, so Sam Malone twice. That's the only thing that's worthwhile to follow me on. Everything else I don't really use. So
yeah,
it's just that.
I would say so.
Yeah,
but
follow, don't follow. It's all good.
You should do some skateboarding edits while playing the guitar.
Could. Yeah. Also, I skateboard. I play guitar. I snowboard. Mm-hmm. I'm a graduate of business school from UNB, so I have a little bit of expertise there.
Master brewer.
Just trying to live my life.
You should just be like ex-con, master brewery.
Oh yeah, next, if I ever come back on, I'll actually talk about the time I've been arrested twice in my life. I should have got into that. Dang it. No, it's next time. It's cool.
Yeah, stay tuned, guys. Yeah. We're gonna leave you on a cliffhanger.
More than one.
So we'll record the next podcast right now. No,
yeah, we could. All right. Thanks,
see you guys. Everybody, Sam Malone.
Peace and love. Happy International Women's Day.
Peace.